Don't you want the story twice? Have no fear, the studio say remake so.
Okay, cool. I'm also going to hit record. I'm now recording.
Yhara, are you recording on your...
I am
Oh
recording.
my god, we're all recording?
It's amazing.
Look at us.
Coincidence.
Look at
This is
us.
going so great already.
I'm testing the loudness of the mic. Excited! All right, we're good.
Gus, do you want to... Typically at this point, this is
Yeah.
the part where you introduce the podcast and tell everybody where they are.
You want me to do that? I don't know if you're aware. I've been a little distracted this week. Hello and welcome to episode 16. Wow.
Lord.
Of Once More with Feeling, a podcast about great original movies and their often not so great remakes. This week we are looking at Lilo and Stitch, the 2002 Disney movie, and Lilo and Stitch, the 2025 Disney tax write-off. I am Gus Schiff, a screenwriter, comedian, improviser, person who says that they direct short films and yet it takes 4 months for their short film to be edited.
I think that's a reasonable amount of time that you shouldn't give yourself like grief about. You are a short film director.
I'm just very like, I hope it's good. I hope people like it. I'm joined by 2 people today. What?
Yeah. Hi, it's Mariana. You know who I am. I'm a YouTube film critic and media scholar. And also we have Yhara Zayd, who also makes
Hello.
YouTube videos. Very good YouTube videos.
Well, good is a strong word.
Do you-
But yes,
It's
makes
not
YouTube
at all.
videos. Watches way too many movies. I think that's the best way to describe myself.
Yeah.
Have you ever spoken to like a person who is normal and well-adjusted and they don't watch that many movies and they're like, oh wait, how many movies do you watch a day? And you're like, oh, like sometimes 1, if I have time, maybe 2. And they're like, that's really strange. And then you realize that what you're doing is not normal.
Can I say that I think the thing that would tip them off is that the question is, how many movies do you watch a day? Because for most people, the movie per time, the time is not a day. It's like at most a week.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's an event
Yeah.
of the week.
Or I guess for a lot of the general public, it seems like it's like barely once a month from the way they talk about
Yeah.
just movies in general.
Yeah,
and like
which
TV's
is
better. Yeah.
Yeah, which has been like a little bit of a trend of this podcast has been kind of tracking, audience viewer patterns and like the shift from the theatrical distribution models to streaming. And it, like when we were kids, I feel like this is not just nostalgia. This actually happened. It was expected that you would just go hang out at the movies on the weekend,
Yeah.
You just like see whatever was out. And now not so much. Now it seems like you really have to seek things
I have
out.
very strong and distinct memories of like grabbing the LA Times from out front and like at like 7 a.m. and like flipping over to the calendar section. No. Yeah. The calendar section, I think. And like finding the showtimes for the theater that we like to go to and being like, there's one at 3. Can we go to this movie at 3? Good times.
And one such
Great
movie was
times.
Lilo and Stitch. How's that segue? Good.
That's a great segue. Let's just get into it. So this movie came out in 2002. Let me tell you a little bit about the United States related history in 2002. In 2001, 9/11 happened, which was a pretty big deal. Are you familiar with
the
this
basics
event?
of 9/11.
Yeah. Because,
I believe
and I
so,
have
yeah.
to tell you this, I know for a fact that we have people who listen to this podcast who were not alive when 9/11 happened.
Depressing. We're so old.
Yhara, were you alive when 9/11 happened?
I was alive.
Do you remember where you were when you found out?
So for background, for context, it's important to know that I and my family, like we're Muslim, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so
I've heard good things.
one of my early One of my earliest memories, and like in relation to 9/11, is actually my mom taking me out of public school, because that day, the day that it happened, my mom used to go around wearing full burqa. The day that it happened, she was getting like spat on.
Oh,
People were
God.
yelling at her, throwing things at her, and she was just terrified. She was like, obviously, like, this is not good. This is also not good for us. You guys can't go to school anymore.
Wow.
So I don't remember like sitting in a classroom and seeing footage of the towers falling or anything. I just do remember my last day in school and not really understanding why that was happening.
What state was that in?
Georgia.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
You're like, sounds about right.
yeah. If that was like Massachusetts, I'd be like, oh, wow. But I mean, maybe not even Massachusetts is still kind of like, yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
What state would I be surprised by that behavior?
California?
Nah, parts of it.
Maybe none. Have we always been this way?
This is just who we are.
Yeah.
Do you, Mariana, do you remember where you were?
Yeah, I was in 3rd grade, and it seems like I remember being taken to my mom's classroom, because she taught middle school at the time, and
That's
it was like
adorable.
kind of up in the air whether this is like an attack on the whole nation, or like, do we have to like hunker down and everybody go home or whatever. But then after that, I mostly just remember all my classmates in Oklahoma bragging about their mothers, like, running over the Dixie Chicks albums and shit like that. And that's what that event meant for me.
I grew up in the liberal bastion of Los Angeles, California. So I remember my memory is like waking up really early to go to school. I was in 1st grade. And my mom wakes me up, and then I'm getting ready, and she's downstairs, and she gets a call. And it's one of those, like, it's the kind of call that you only ever see in movies, where her friends like turn on the TV and she's like, what channel? And the friend's like, any channel. She turns it on, sees what's happening. Meanwhile, I'm coming downstairs and I see the burning tower, and they keep replaying the first plane, and then the second plane flies in, and then I don't go to school. My mom keeps me home, and I'm watching it. And then I see one of the towers fall, and I was the kind of kid who like really loved playing with blocks and then knocking down the blocks, much like Stitch.
Indeed, yeah.
Topically related. So I started laughing.
Oh, no.
And then my mom was like, there were like thousands of people in there. And then I started crying, and then I ran upstairs.
Oh.
And then like a month or two later, I was at school, and they were like, okay, we're going to play this game. And I was like, I don't know what game, like, and they were like, we taught you this before, you should remember it. And I was like, I don't remember this game. When did you teach this game? And they were like, oh yeah, we taught it to like the 7 kids who showed up that one day. And in my head, I was incensed because like, how are you going to blame me for staying home on a day so infamous that we just call it by the date? It doesn't even have a name. So that really pissed me off. I don't have great associations with 9/11. I gotta be honest with you. So 9/11 happens. It's a pretty big deal. It kind of like dramatically shatters the decade-long American victory lap after the end of the Cold War.
It's like the end of the 20th century.
Yeah.
Spiritually as well as temporally.
Yeah. Like, I don't know who remembers air travel before then, but like, it used to be
You just
pretty
walk right
easy.
up to the terminal.
Yeah.
Anybody.
You would like, see your loved ones come back right out of the gate. Mm-hmm. And now it's a whole pain in the ass. So the U.S. by 2002, pretty quickly after that happens, invade Afghanistan. Not Iraq yet. That's next year. Spoilers. We pretty the U.S. pretty quickly kicks the Taliban out of major urban areas, but they stay in power in the more distant regions, which, obviously, because then they retake power like 20 years later. What a valuable use of lives and resources. Switzerland finally joins the UN in 2002, probably as a result of 9/11. NATO expands significantly, bringing in a lot of Eastern European countries that were still a bit nervous about Russia. The International Criminal Court, which I think was created in 1997. I think I talked about that with Mulan. That fully comes into existence. The euro is introduced as currency on January 1st, I think. A lot of cool stuff happening. A lot of building the modern era for all of its good and bad happened in 2002. And then some other films that came out in 2002 that were competing with Lilo and Stitch. Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, Attack of the Clones. A lot of second movies. Die Another Day, that's James Bond. Treasure Planet, which flopped so hard it made Disney stop doing 2D animation, I think, even though it's a good movie. My Big Fat Greek Wedding, Adaptation, Minority Report, Scooby-Doo, Born Identity. So a lot of classics.
The English dub of Spirited Away, or was that 2003?
I don't know.
I remember very distinctly Lilo and Stitch and Spirited Away being in theaters at the same time. And the connection between the two is that the voice actress for Lilo is also Chihiro in Spirited Away.
Oh, the same one as the adorable child?
Yeah, which, that's how long Lilo and Stitch was in theaters for. Well into 2003 if Spirited Away came out then. What are you looking at?
I think 2002. Yeah, in September of 2002. Also released by Walt Disney. That might explain why, because Disney supervised the dub. That makes sense. Cool. So let me tell you a little bit about Lilo and Stitch. Here's the synopsis. We meet the terrifying, monstrous alien 626, who was created by Jumba, an evil genetic scientist. 626 is sentenced to exile by the Alien Council, but he escapes and crash lands on Earth, where he is soon adopted by Lilo, a lonely Hawaiian orphan with an older sister named Nani. They think he's a dog and name him Stitch. Lilo loves Stitch immediately, but Stitch is a little evil, breaking things and burning stuff and all that. Lilo is at risk of being taken by CPS because Nani lost her job. As she job hunts, Stitch keeps ruining things. Also, he's dodging recapture by Jumba and his partner Pleakley, whose name I spelled wrong. Eventually, Stitch's connection to Lilo makes him want to do good, going against his genetic programming. More aliens arrive to try to capture him, and he avoids them, but they get Lilo. Oh no! Nani, Stitch, Jumba, Pleakley, and the CPS agent Cobra Bubbles team up to rescue her. They do, and Stitch is allowed to stay on Earth, where he joins the Ohana family. The end.
The end.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
That didn't do the movie justice. It's really good.
It's okay. Everybody's seen Lilo and Stitch. Everybody knows what this movie's about. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I mean,
I cried.
do you want to argue with me
twice.
more about all the all the homework you didn't do?
Yeah, I do want to. I did a great job in the 20 minutes of the beginning of us being on this call.
You cried twice, he said?
Huh?
You cried twice, he said?
I cried twice. It's a beautiful movie.
It is a beautiful movie.
I think it's my second favorite animated movie, behind The Lion King. Yhara, any initial thoughts on Lilo and Stitch before I talk about how it got made?
Nothing comes to mind except that it is indeed a beautiful movie, and I think you did the best that you could with your description. I feel like you got all the plot points.
I love pity. Pity is my favorite emotion. Thank you.
That was devastating.
Thank you for that.
You fulfilled your potential.
Yeah. You almost got there. Good job. So the idea actually came from Disney animator Chris Sanders, who first came up with this idea for a children's book pitch, which didn't work out. after he came up with this idea, he started working at Disney, and this was in like 1987. He started on Rescuers Down Under, and then he stayed at Disney, worked on a handful of Renaissance movies, Beauty and the Beast, Lion King, Mulan, rising through the ranks. I think he was like head of story by Mulan. By 1997, he was pretty high up, and he was at like a corporate retreat at Walt Disney World, where he had a conversation with a Disney exec named Thomas Schumacher. He's like VP of animation or something, who asked him what he wants to do next. And Sanders was like, well, I have this idea from 15 years ago, and brought it to him. They tweaked it. He did like a 30-page booklet of different character designs, and they were like, great, let's do it. The story went through a couple iterations. Like, it was really, they just had the character at the beginning. I think the original version of the story was that Stitch was not a genetic creation, but the head of like a criminal gang in space. And Jumba was not his like evil scientist creator, but an underling who was like sent to capture him after he was, they actually cast Ricardo Montalban, who played Khan in Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, to play one of the villains in that original version of the movie. He recorded his lines and everything, and then they cut him completely because they changed the script pretty drastically. Speaking of things that are changed, this is pretty well known, but in the original climax, Stitch, Nani, Jumba, and Pleakley. So in the movie, the animated movie, the one that we see, they get on Jumba's spaceship, and they chase the manta ray, the giant manta ray who has kidnapped Lilo, and they like fly through Big Island, Hawaii. They fly through mountains, do all this cool stuff. The original version of that, which was like finished and animated and done, was they hijack a human plane, a Boeing 737, I think, from the airport, and they fly it through downtown Honolulu. I think it's the same kind of plane that was flown into the two towers, the Twin Towers, and also into the Pentagon, and also attempted to be flown into the White House. So they had... When did this movie come out? Hold on. This is something that if I had had more than 20 minutes, I would have actually found the premiere date. This movie was released June 16th, 2002. 9/11 happened on 9/11/2001. They had like 2 months max to change this entire sequence.
That's wild. Rewrite it, re-record it, reanimate it. Yeah.
Redraw it. So you can see a lot of similarities because the plane does the same stuff that the spaceship ends up doing, but the entire like surrounding frames are different. They actually keep the jet turbines from the plane. They keep them in the spaceship. That's why that spaceship has those 2 jet turbines on it, which is pretty cool. It loses a little bit of like thematic relevance, the flight through nature, because one of Stitch's like genetic codes is to go to big major urban areas. This is something that like Jumba says, and change street and fuck it up a bit, like change street signs, steal everybody's left shoe, destroy things, and so you don't get the moment of him intentionally not destroying things, but they hit the theme enough that it's okay. Speaking of theme, the idea of Ohana actually came from a tour guide that the creative team had when they were on a research visit to Hawaii. The importance of going places that you're telling a story about. Yeah.
Was this always set in Hawaii? Was that Chris Sanders' idea?
I don't think it was. I don't think it was always set in Hawaii. Like,
really?
The first version of the idea, there were no people in it.
Oh, that's
I
interesting.
think.
Hawaii is so important to it.
Yeah.
That's part of what's really awesome about this movie.
Yeah. It was a remote, non-urban location with Stitch crash landing into a forest and interacting with woodland animals, being ostracized by them, and then ending up at a farm in rural Kansas. So
okay.
it was initially, I guess, in Kansas.
Okay.
And and while he was doing this 30-page pitch book, the story goes that he looked at a map on his wall, saw Hawaii, remembered he had just vacationed there, and was like, that'd be nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great choice. It's such a good joke. Like the initial joke of, oh, it's the middle of the ocean, he'll never make it, and then
he'll drown.
the islands of Hawaii just get bigger and bigger and bigger. It can't be.
That was so good. Sanders himself voiced Stitch, which is really cute.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, like the voice he had developed unrelated to the character. He would just call people around Disney and annoy them with that voice. Dumbo was a huge inspiration for this movie. It's partially why they insisted on the more expensive watercolored backgrounds.
They're beautiful. They're some of my favorite.
Oh my god!
Some of my favorite
Gorgeous.
animation of all of Disney is Lilo and Stitch.
It's incredible.
It is.
The marketing for this movie was pretty cool. You can see this in like the theatrical release poster, which has the sort of like Disney Renaissance and the classic Disney characters all around the frame being horrified by Stitch. But they did these like parody commercials where they would have like really famous moments from recent movies. I think the ones that Saunders, whatever, that he worked on. I think like the ballroom dance scene in Beauty and the Beast might have been one of them.
Yes, I remember that one really well.
They'll start it and then Stitch will invade and fuck it up. And like, that's great. That's wonderful. That's a wonderful way to market. Do more. And the movie did pretty good. It made about $275 million against an $80 million budget. So a pretty tidy profit. Again, like not as incredible as The Lion King or Beauty and the Beast, but still really good. Roger Ebert loved it. He gave it 3.5 stars out of 4. Called it one of the most charming feature-length cartoons of recent years. Funny, sassy, startling, original, and with 6 songs by Elvis. It doesn't get sickeningly sweet at the end. It has as much stuff in it for grown-ups as for kids, and it has a bright, offbeat look to it. Also, he hated Scooby-Doo so much that half of this review is just shitting on Scooby-Doo. And I actually, I copied it over and I need to read it out because it's hilarious. This is in this review for Lilo and Stitch. He says, on Monday, a man on an elevator asked me what I thought about Scooby-Doo. I said it was a very bad movie. My kids want to see it, he said. Yes, I said, because they've heard of nothing else all week. But I said there's a much better animated family film opening this weekend named Lilo and Stitch that your kids are sure to like much more than Scooby-Doo, and you will enjoy it too. Take my word, I said. I do this for a living. Take the kids to Lilo and Stitch. I could see from the man's eyes that he was rejecting my advice. How could I possibly be right when 45 million said I was wrong? Scooby-Doo had an opening weekend of 54 million. I said the wrong number. When 54 million said I was wrong. How could human taste be a better barometer of movie quality than the success of a marketing campaign? Prediction: this weekend, more parents and their children will dutifully file into the idiotic wasteland of Scooby-Doo than will see the inspired delights of Lilo and Stitch. That will be a shame.
He's not wrong. Scooby-Doo is a terrible movie.
It's pretty bad.
It is. I will say it's. I feel like the culture has kind of turned the corner on it though, and now it's like kind of cool to like Scooby-Doo because it's
but it's
so
like
horrible.
It's cool to like Scooby-Doo in the way it's cool to like the Star Wars prequels.
Yeah, exactly.
Where it's like just because
Exactly.
kids who were born in 2005 watched it on DVD as a kid and they're like, oh, actually it's pretty good. No, it fucking isn't. Our childhood movies are good. Your childhood movies suck.
Including Lilo and Stitch. Not that it sucks. That it's great. It's so good.
It's amazing.
It's
so
lovely.
good. Todd McCarthy from Varieties said, spunky, mildly irreverent, and completely hand-drawn, Lilo and Stitch represents a refreshing change of pace in Disney's recent animated output. He liked it too. And then, it stuck around for a while. It's one of those like properties that lasted. It was in a lot of video games. There was a great TV show about it where Lilo and Stitch and Jumba and Pleakley had to all of Jumba's other 625 experiments like ended up on Hawaii, and now they have to go capture them. It was great. They all had weird powers. I loved that show so
I did too.
much.
I did too. I watched it. It's very quotable. Lilo's such a little weirdo in such a sincere way. I love that she punches her classmate in the face. I was like, it seems like this movie seems so much like the kind of movie that genuinely wouldn't be made today. We talked about that a little bit with Mulan also last week. That's not a movie that would be made today, and this one also.
Yeah,
Well,
you can't be weird anymore. It's not allowed.
Exactly, you can't be weird.
It's illegal.
There's so much of this movie doesn't make any sense at all. It's like it's very absurdist.
What doesn't make sense?
Well, no, I mean, plot-wise, it makes sense. It's just like we're so obsessed with realism and and literalism right now that I don't think that the idea of the Galactic Federation going after this, this experiment, if he's going to be exiled anyway, who cares? Like that kind of thing, But it kind of lives off its own absurdism.
Yeah.
But
Yhara,
also
what did you
Lilo's
think?
anger too. Lilo's like, she's weird, and she's very, in the beginning, like punching her classmates, stuff like that.
Yeah.
She is not framed necessarily as being a bad kid, which I appreciate, but we do see her doing bad things, and I think that anger and frustration is really important because we're talking about a kid who lost her parents, and now her sister is her guardian, and that's a lot to deal with and try to contextualize. And I like that she's allowed to have those messy emotions, and they kind of well, I want to get ahead of myself. They did sanitize that a little bit. So yeah, weird and angry Lilo is my Lilo.
Yeah. And also like, the clear parallel thematically here is between Lilo and Stitch. That's why it's called Lilo and Stitch. They're the same creature. They're like, beings that don't really feel like they fit in, that they make everybody kind of uncomfortable. They really want to belong, but they don't know how, and they, just kind of take it out on their surroundings because they're frustrated and because they're weird and so them finding that kind of fellowship in each other is so lovely.
It's so beautiful.
It's really nice.
Amazing.
I had a problem with this movie that I don't know. Let me check my notes. I haven't really had with any other movie is that it was so good. I didn't write any notes down.
Me too. I didn't write any notes down for the original. I wrote a lot of notes for the new one.
Yeah, I have 4 notes. Which is, I watched the live action first, and this one started. I wrote so much better. Ha 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 ha. I love Pleakley and Jumba. This is so pretty. Holy cow. Adoption scene so cute. I started crying. And all-time closing montage. I didn't write any like. It's so good.
It's so good. The stylization of it is really lovely and it doesn't like scream Disney to me. Like the character designs are kind of odd and offbeat, and it's I guess a testament to the marketing team of Disney at the time that they were able to. Like, it seems like they were able to sort of take advantage of that a little bit, that this is also an offbeat property for Disney to be managing, and isn't that cute, and this is how you maintain brand integrity. I don't know, Gus, in your 20 minutes of research that you did right before we hopped on this call, if you encountered anything about the artist who designed any of the characters.
Yeah, so it was Chris Sanders or Saunders.
Okay.
It's his personal style, and it was actually like not a requirement, but the I think it was that same executive. Like one of the things when they were talking about the idea was like it needs to look like your work. You know, they didn't want it. They didn't want it to look like classic Disney. They wanted it to be very him.
And it is. They're weird. Like the character designs are kind of strange, and they are adorable, you know.
Yeah.
But like, it's one of the things that I think works a lot better with the old one compared to the new one. We'll get into it, but like the stylization is such that a lot of the humor rests upon it. Like the joke of Lilo licking Nani's arm when she's like caught in the house. Blah! Like the way that is drawn and animated is so dynamic. Everything Stitch does is the same. The shapes they're using, like he loves all these like super round shapes. That I don't know. It's just like the quality of movement that he gives to those characters. I just don't think is like replicable in the same way. You know.
Yeah, and I think it. I don't think it would have been. I think having that like willingness to make it stylistically different also carried over into like other things that aren't like as Disney. You know what I mean? Like it's not, the dialogue isn't super Disney. The storyline isn't super Disney. It is very weird, like you said.
Yeah, it's sci-fi.
It's like,
there's no magic involved, which is weird for Disney.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
And it's, you know, it's good. It's once again just highlighting the importance of like an executive team that's willing to like do interesting things.
Yeah.
And how much that pays dividends now 23 years down the line, 24 years down the line, when we're still like, oh my God, it's so good. Yeah. You know?
I was going to say that I like that nobody in this movie is really the bad guy necessarily, but looking back on that, I'm not sure that's true. I'm not sure that like Captain Gantu in the end. No, it's the new one with Jumba where they say, oh, well, he's going to be brought to justice or whatever. And the captain in the first one, like, does a wrong, but it's not that bad because he was told to, right? Yeah. That's what happens. So nobody's really the bad guy in this movie. And I like that a lot.
The worst thing that Mr. Manta Ray does in the first one is he captures Stitch and Lilo.
Right.
And locks them both
got
in
you a
there.
Little snack, yes.
And implies that Stitch is going to eat Lilo and is fine with it. Yeah. No, there aren't really like bad guys. You know, it's pretty clear. I remember as a kid, or when I was watching this when I was younger, I was like, I was afraid of Cobra Bubbles.
Afraid?
Yeah, and then like his turn kind of, he has a, you know, it becomes more obvious as the movie goes on that like, oh, he really just does want the best for Lilo. Mm-hmm. And I was like, aw. And then now, you know, as an adult, the whole time it's like, no, there are very obviously problems with her living situation. Yes. Like the whole time he just wants what's best for Lilo, which is his job.
It's sort of interesting, sort of like just socio-historically, how much faith this movie puts in like government workers. You know, like the assumption that the Galactic Federation is going to be this sort of, you know, like representative democracy that looks very much like how we imagine ourselves, and Cobra Bubbles has left his, I guess, left his, you know, successful career at the CIA to go be a CPS officer. It's like, okay.
I did. Well, he wants to help the kids, you know.
I love it. I love Cobra Bubbles.
He saved the world enough times. Yeah. Now he's going to save the children of Hawaii.
Yeah, he dealt with Roswell. He was like, you know, I've dealt with a lot of intergalactic stuff, but the kids on Earth, they need me.
That's right.
Which I can respect that, you know.
Absolutely.
And Ving Rhames did a great job. I think he has a warmth to him.
Yeah. That, like, you know, he's such an imposing figure, but when he starts talking about like, you need to be serious about this, you need to think about what's
Right.
best for her, like you believe that he's got her best interest at heart. Yeah.
I mean, Cobra Bubbles is 100% just a man in black, right?
100%. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I did check the when the first movie came out, when the first Man in Black came out, is 1997.
Yeah. I mean, that's clearly what they're,
Going for.
right.
Yeah.
What else about this
I
one?
thought the music was amazing.
Incredible. Yeah.
The like Hawaiian children's choir that like recorded these songs.
Yeah, that they got from like the local school. It's like a pretty positive like representation of Hawaii also.
Yeah.
Just sort of fundamentally. Like we had a similar conversation about like, Disney's problem with race and how that emerges in things like Aladdin, where we're like stereotyping absolutely everybody to the greatest extent we possibly can without, like overly offending broad swaths of our audience. And like the representation of this like sort of down and out like native Hawaiian family being threatened by the state and not being really into their own culture, but that not necessarily like defining their experience of the world. There's not like they're performing Hawaiian-ness for the audience, it feels.
Yeah.
I love that. I think it's really lovely.
I also liked how like most of the characters were native Hawaiians, but also there were like a couple Japanese people and a couple like white people. And it's just like a good idea of like what it actually, and this is just exactly what you said.
Yeah,
I'm
what
restating
modern
it.
Hawaii looks like.
Yeah.
For better and worse.
thought that
I
was
think
good.
I know there's a deleted scene that I wish I had included because like, it's like the politics in any movie is gonna show up if you are like treating the subject with respect, I feel. And, the sort of like legacy of colonialism is all over this movie in a way that I think it is similarly in the new one, just in a different way that's more flattering to like a certain
That
kind of status
flashback
quo.
to Captain Cook was so weird.
What are you talking about?
I was trying to make a joke. That was terrible. That was one of the worst I've made. Oof.
So that like there's a deleted scene in the original where Lilo's like walking home from hula class or something, and she's just like, it's just like white person after white person like stopping her and saying like, "Hey kid, where's the beach?" And she like points them in the right direction and okay,
Is that
and continues.
what?
Wasn't there also a deleted scene, or I'm not sure if they actually animated it, but one where there's these white tourists that see Lilo and say, "Look, a real Hawaiian,"
Yeah.
or a native Hawaiian,
Yeah,
or something
I think
like
so.
that.
Yeah. So it's like, even though like those didn't make it to the final cut, but it's still like the sort of presence of this sort of exploitative tourism is all over the movie, in the background characters, in the way that the the settings are drawn, which is really like lovely and loving to the setting, but it's still there. All the weird photos that Lilo takes of all the like sort of grotesque tourists that she puts on her wall is such a cute detail. Yeah.
She goes, "Aren't they beautiful?"
Aren't they beautiful?
It's really
She's such a little weirdo. I love her.
I hope that if and when I have a child, it is like Lilo.
Oh, same.
Yeah.
Give me a problem child like that.
Yeah. Just give me a little weirdo, please.
I also cried several times.
Yeah.
The scene in the hammock, obviously. The part where and this is one scene that I think they really whiffed in the new one. The "I like you better as a sister than as a mom" scene. You like me better as a sister than a rabbit, right? It's so cute.
I really love the Stitch adoption scene because she's just like, I had a lot of this movie hits me because I had a lot of similar issues as a child, just with like self-control and violence and stuff. And so just like, obviously I don't do that anymore. And a big part of it is because like the support that I got from my parents and from like the couple friends that I managed to keep, and just like sticking with me. And so like seeing Lilo like glom onto this like evil little alien right away and be like, everybody else thinks you're a disgusting monster, but I see that you're a little bit good and I love you already and I'm gonna help you be better, was like a great message.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot.
It is, that they're like, you know, little weirdos, little problem kids. Like, there are things for them to do. You know, like there is a place for everybody in society, is a really lovely message to, especially to hear from Disney, that's so often accused of being like very supportive of a certain kind of status quo, and especially, you know, as it relates to gender and race and these kinds of like hierarchical roles that people must play in society. It's like really lovely to see that kind of, I don't know, rejected for once.
And I definitely appreciate the way like having a creative outlet is encouraged for them too. I think at one point Lilo says to Stitch, like, you keep destroying things. Have you ever tried making something? And like even Lilo with her photographs and like the love that she has for her class that she ends up not going back to for a while. I think those things are important to see. It's like these aren't kids that are kids like Stitch, whatever he is, without hope. And if you give them an outlet, you give them support, you know, it's really sweet.
Yeah, her gross doll. Like,
yeah,
the implication
gross
that
doll who's recovering from surgery.
Yeah, from all the bugs that laid eggs in her ear. Yeah, like all her gross photographs. Like the idea that you know, that you can like make a whole like little block cityscape and then tear it down, and that's fun too. Like I love this sort of like joyous abandon that this movie sort of treats creativity with, that like the things you make don't have to be perfect, and they don't even have to be pretty, you know. It's just like a fundamental good that people make things, and that's what makes Lilo like a good person, you know, at her heart, that she's really imaginative. And yeah, what a good movie.
Should we move on?
I guess.
Oh yeah.
I
forgot we were just talking about Lilo and Stitch, the original, for a second.
No, unfortunately, we
Both
have to
of them.
talk about Lilo and Stitch 2025.
But before we do that,
Oh god, yeah, I forgot.
before we do that, this episode is brought to you by all of our patrons, the wonderful people who pay us money because they like us. People like Birdie, Alex, Miguel Vela Garnett, Silly Me, Hypervisceration, Jerry Danton, Aurora Rogers, Patrick Powers, David Monkman, Just Chip, Isaiah Evans, OK Biddy, Dr. Foes, Orestes, Andrew Osborne, Sheila Kelly, that's my mom, Spooky Teeth, William Bentley, Janelle Rose, A Long Way Home, Ryder, Seamus Britag, The Wizard Sober, Mark Wampler, C-Tone, Wellen Inspector, Sociostash, Fading into Obscurity, The Antithesis, Wells Harrell, Forrest Cochran, Ted the Dead, Ryan Faber, Andrew Ray, Samoa, Gun Parade, Colleen Burns, Chimerathon, Charlotte Detweiler, James Trendle, Sky Kalliane, Christine H., Chloe, Dana Lloyd, Donnie,
That's my mom.
Aaron Summers, what? Oh, Donnie. No, Dana Lloyd.
Yes, we have this conversation
Aaron,
every time.
You gotta jump in there faster because I keep reading the next name. Whatever. Aaron Summers, Thomas McFarland. If you, listener, would like to support us and come talk to us about cool movies and video games and TV shows and listen to my bad jokes about people named Emerald Fennel, you can also give us money. On Patreon, there's a link.
That was great. Good job.
I'm having a rough day,
Full
man.
of confidence.
I'm having a rough day. Pay us.
Yeah, the Discord. I've been so pleased with the Discord server. It's been like just
been really
fun,
nice.
interesting people with fun, interesting things to say. So yeah, if you want to participate in those conversations, give us a little money.
We've got civil rights lawyers. We've got college freshmen. We've got people who just like stuff.
Very good. You're doing great.
Thank you. Can we talk about the live action, please?
Yes. Yeah, we should, I think. I've never been so disappointed in you, Gus, as I was when I received the text you sent me saying that you liked the new one. That's bonkers to me. I hate this movie. And I'm hoping that Yhara can be the voice of reason between the two of us, because I know I'm unreasonable most of the time, and I usually consider you a reasonable person, but man, this has me doubting things. Will the podcast continue after this rift? Who knows?
Can we survive one minor disagreement?
Minor? You said
know.
you liked this movie. I don't understand it. It's basically the same movie, but I'll go through the synopsis again, because I think there are enough differences to justify going over it again. So at a Galactic Federation hearing, Dr. Jumba Jukiba is convicted of illegal experimentation for creating Stitch. Stitch is sentenced to exile, escapes, crash lands in Hawaii, where Lilo has just been expelled from hula school for pushing her bully off the stage during a performance. Her bully was teasing her for her sister Nani not being there. Nani is overworked. Her car won't start, so she couldn't make it in time, which I think is I think that works great. I think that makes for really good motivation for Lilo to be all pissy at Nani later on when she won't let her into the house when she gets home. Although I do think it also kind of spoils the parallel between Stitch and Lilo being agents of chaos no matter what happens to them. The social worker, who is Nani's voice actor from the original movies, arrives and tells Nani what she has to do to keep Lilo. Meanwhile, Jumba and Pleakley have been sent to Earth. They disguise themselves as Zach Galifianakis and Billy Magnuson. Billy Magnuson was Prince Anders in Aladdin, in case you recognized him but didn't know where to place him. He's great. I love him. The next day, Nani and Lilo's neighbor, who is also David's grandma, I think,
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And she's babysitting while Nani is at work and takes Lilo to the animal shelter, where she finds Stitch, adopts him, same as the original. Stitch is using Lilo as a human shield. Stitch is total chaos. He destroys their house, gets Nani fired from her tourist trap luau job, which is managed by our good friend Jason Scott Lee. Well, you notice that? Yeah.
Who played David in the original Lilo and Stitch.
Yes.
He keeps showing up.
He's got a great working relationship with Disney, I guess, maintained over the past 25 years. Good for him. Meanwhile, Agent Cobra Bubbles has been called in to investigate the apparent alien crash site, goes undercover as a social worker himself. Lilo helps Nani get a job as a surfing instructor. Everybody goes surfing. That's when Stitch starts to enjoy being a part of the family, almost drowns in the process like the original. Lilo is taken to the hospital afterward, but this is the United States of go fuck yourself, and Lilo and Nani don't have health insurance, so the social worker arrives and tells Nani that that's the end of it. Lilo has to be taken away. So they have the moment in the hammock. Stitch feels very guilty about everything and leaves. Jumba and Pleakley get fired, and so Jumba decides to go after Stitch his own way, becomes the Captain Gantu of the movie. The house gets destroyed. Stitch surrenders, but Lilo sneaks onto the ship and frees him. The ship crashes, and Stitch is too heavy for Lilo to lift out of the water, so he sacrifices himself and decides to drown. Nani saves him. They resuscitate him by hooking him up to some jumper cables and turning on the car, which I think is pretty good. The Grand Councilwoman of the Galactic Federation arrives, says Stitch can stay on Earth. Lilo goes to live with David and his grandma next door, and Nani goes to college. And in the last scene, Nani and Lilo use Jumba's portal gun to visit each other. It's a very cute final scene. The end. So that's the new Lilo and Stitch. It was made for $100 million, and it made over $1 billion. Holy shit. That's much money.
Lot.
It's too much money for
That's actually
a really mediocre movie.
This is the only live action that had a better percentage return.
That's interesting.
Than the animated one.
And also kind of depressing because it means that they're going to make more.
Yeah. But listen, it's not that bad of a movie.
Why?
It's pretty cute.
I'm going to let you elaborate. I'm just going to stay silent and let you elaborate.
So, listen, look. The biggest problem that this movie has is it's edited. It's a little TikTok-y.
It feels like a decom.
It does. It feels a little bit like a decom. It's very fast paced. It's a little too fast paced. I was watching it. I watched it first, and so I was wondering if like, am I misremembering the animated one? Is it this fast paced? No, it's not. The animated one is a real movie, and this one's like a social media person, someone who really, Dean Fleischer Camp just probably fucking loves TikTok.
He's only done 2 features. Before this, he did a movie called Fraud, which I haven't seen, but he also did Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, which is a great movie and a great little series, and was like one of the OG viral shorts, which is so good. So I see where that aesthetic strategy is coming from. It's okay. It just feels kind of low rent to me.
It's a little low rent. Like the aliens they're all the aliens look a little bit like a fan Blender file. I don't know how Blender works. A fan Blender design of like, what if Lilo and Stitch was live action. They don't look real at all. But when they're in the early environment of just other aliens that look like them, it's fine.
Oh, I agree. I don't have any problem with the aliens at all, actually. Except for Stitch.
Yeah. I didn't, losing the Russian voice from Jumba was a huge bummer. It was super weird hearing
I agree.
Zach Galifianakis' voice come out of that guy.
I don't like that.
But, like, once they turned into people, they did okay.
I hate that they turned into people. I hate that.
It's one of those things. Like, for me, it's Yhara. Feel free to jump in whenever you want.
I'm going to listen a little bit more.
Okay.
And then...
Find the diplomatic.
Well, because it's
opinion.
But it's like, because we've talked about this a lot. Is like, a lot. We've talked about like the core differences between animation and live action, and how they should approach live action movies. I think, what did we say? It was like less as a remake and more as an adaptation. And I think that's an adaptation move.
I don't disagree with that. I think that's fine. I just, it's the kind of thing that makes it so incredibly clear what a cash grab decision this was. It doesn't, like, so much of the humor of Lilo and Stitch depends on the specific stylization and the absurdism that comes from it. Like, I think that the original movie is asking you to suspend a level of disbelief that the new one just can't do. Like, it is so ridiculous to have Jumba and Pleakley dressed in like a stupid wig and a mustache, and everybody's like, oh, they look kind of weird or something, like that would never happen. But like, they're asking you to believe that because it is funny. And I just don't think there's any parallel with how they address it in the new one. I understand that they like makes more sense for them to take on human disguises, and I think all the humor that happens in that context is fine. But it's not Lilo and Stitch for me.
Yeah, it's not as good as the first one. But it's not bad like the other, like with Snow White, where it's like, it's just horrible, or like Mulan, which was just atrocious. Like, it's different from the animated because it has to be different, because a lot of the absurdism doesn't play live action. But, they try their best, they make up for it, and it's not like, if I had a little Lilo of my own, I would not let her watch Mulan, not because it's inappropriate, but because it's fucking awful, and I want my kid to be a snob.
For sure.
I would let my kid watch live action Lilo and Stitch because is it great? No, it's like a solid 2 out of 4. Original Lilo and Stitch, for me personally, 4.5 out of 4.
Yeah,
but this one's fine.
It's not fun.
I wonder, Gus, if I had some of that context going into Lilo and Stitch with like the previous live action remakes, if I would feel like a similar way regarding Zach Galifianakis and remind me of his name again.
What is his name?
Billy Magnuson.
Yeah,
Billy
thank you.
Magnuson. Because like I think they did fine, but at the same time, every time they were on screen, I was like, I don't want to see them. Like I want, like I want to see Jamba and Pleakley, and I just felt because I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself.
No, that's
but
okay.
the little girl who plays Lilo, Maya, she's great.
She's fantastic.
I thought she
She's
was
such a little cutie
fantastic. She's so cute. She has so much charisma, and I think she has a good amount of chemistry with the actress playing Nani. I'm so sorry. I'm bad with names.
It's okay, me too. I don't remember any of these
So
people.
like I was able to have a level of engagement when they had their scenes together, and then it would go to who's supposed to be Jamba and Pleakley. I don't even know if I could call them that, but yeah, I guess.
yeah,
I'll just say
hashtag
Jamba
not
and
my
Pleakley.
Jumba. You know?
Right. And then I would suddenly feel so disengaged from everything. But I do wonder if it's part of that reason I have such a strong reaction to it is because I haven't seen many other live action remakes. But then at the same time, Mariana has.
Yeah, exactly.
Show. So I
This
don't
is-
know. I
We've
just
seen
feel for
all the
me,
same
They
movies.
didn't work at all.
I'm feeling ganged up on.
I'm sorry.
I think
Don't. He deserves it.
no, I think again, I'm not gonna argue that that this movie's like better at all. I'm just like, I get it. I like it's especially like, you know, because you open the year with Snow White, and then you have like here's my belief in what's happening with like American movies is, and I talked about this, I think it was Pete's Dragon, and I said that thing where it's like, I don't know if anybody agrees with me, but I'm right, or it was like, I'm right even if nobody realizes it, something like that. It was really funny. And but it's like what audiences want and what audiences need are very different things.
Yeah, absolutely.
And older filmmakers, including the people behind the original Lilo and Stitch, were very good at knowing what the audience needed and giving them enough of what they wanted that they came back. In the last like decade, probably basically since Disney bought Marvel, movie studios have been giving more and more and more of what the audience wants because they've been building these stories more and more off of like market research and bringing in test audiences earlier and earlier and earlier and stripping autonomy away from the creatives. And so they give more and more and more of what the audiences want. And so they go to these movies that are filled with like the things that all of the consultants say should work and have audience retention. And it just feels like hollow because it doesn't have the good part. And I forgot where I was going with this. But like
Soon.
there's so even though studios are coming out with these like, you know, movies filled with stuff they want, people are like, man, movies aren't as good as they used to be. Movies aren't as good as they used to be. There was a report that like 80% of people want to go see more movies and are willing to go see more movies. And they're like, what's stopping you from going to see more movies? And they're like, they're not good. Movies are bad, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's like, in that environment, I understand why people would go to this one, because like, is it as good? No, of course not. But it's better than a lot of what's been coming out. It's my favorite of the Disney live actions. That's not saying a lot.
You like it better than Cinderella?
Yeah.
That's crazy talk.
Not a lot better. You know, it's like, oh, what do you like more? You know, what do you like more? Like a hot dog or like a mediocre hamburger? Like a hot dog with ketchup or a mediocre hamburger.
What an incredible
It's like, well,
American
you know,
analogy.
yeah.
Imagine a hamburger.
And it's like, you know, like not a good one. Like the kind of hamburger you would get like
Yeah,
you know,
like a Jack in the Box
middle
hamburger.
school.
Oh,
No, not
oh,
Jack in
worse
the
than
Box.
that. Okay, yeah, sure.
You know, or just
Cafeteria
like a
hamburger.
plain hot dog with only ketchup. It's like, that's, you know, I guess I'll pick the hamburger, but I'm not like, if
But
you
like,
also
there
give
are
me
things-
In-N-Out, I'm gonna pick that.
There are things in some of the other live action remakes that I genuinely enjoy quite a lot, and you know, aspects that don't sort of like outweigh the idiocy of the venture as a whole, but that, like, Cate Blanchett's performance in Cinderella is really great. All the fashion in that movie is really amazing. You know, like the dogs in Lady and the Tramp are really cute. Nothing about this movie is anything that I think is like native to the movie itself that I like. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
Yeah.
I really like, I mean, yeah, I see that. There were just like a couple performances I really like. Like Yhara, I love Lilo. I thought she was fantastic.
She's so cute.
She is
She's
so
good.
great.
I really liked the guy who played David, who's an actor named Kaipo Dudoit. I'm so sorry.
Is he's the one, he replaced the original actor, right?
Did. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they hired
Yes.
one guy. And there was like, I mean, so like part of the problem with all these remakes is that it seems like Disney keeps running into this problem that they can only solve by making new stuff, you know, inventing new IPs. And I think it's like, it must just speak to the sort of dearth of imaginative power happening over at that studio, that they keep making these movies that can only bring them controversy. People get mad if they change things. People get mad if they don't change things. For a while, it was like a rumor that Cobra Bubbles was going to be taken out altogether, and people super didn't like that. Like the casting of Nani was a little bit controversial because she's not ethnically Hawaiian, and people thought she was too light-skinned compared to the cartoon. And so it was similar with the original guy that they hired to play David, who is ethnically Hawaiian, I think, but who's also very light-skinned. And he solved that problem for everybody by saying the N-word over and over on social media and got replaced with this new guy who I think is really good. So, yeah. Yep.
Sorry. It's just, man, non-black people really love that.
But also Nani's like part Hawaiian.
She's Filipino. She was
mixed.
born in Hawaii.
Her father is Filipino and Hawaiian. It
Oh,
says.
is she? Oh, okay.
Yeah, so she's at least part. Don't say racial slurs publicly.
I know.
Like, if you're gonna be racist, I'm not even saying don't be racist. Just like don't be racist.
Guys.
But like if you want to be racist, do it in the privacy of your own home.
Yeah.
Be
without any
ashamed about it. Yeah.
Or
at
do it
least.
verbally. Jesus, guys. Come on, man.
I kind of wonder if, in today's political climate, if they had hired that guy, if they would have fired him for this. Who knows?
They would have fired him, and then he would have gotten a job in Vance's
Exactly. He would immediately become a right-wing
media
pundit.
relations team.
All right, we would see his op-ed. I didn't leave the left.
Exactly.
Something like
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
He would launch
I
a
stayed
Substack.
center.
I'm a centrist. Anyone else worried about all the great replacement happening? Yeah. Oof.
What else? There are a couple plot changes that I really hate in this movie that I think really undercut a lot of the themes that make the original one good. Like we mentioned, I don't know, like half an hour ago or something, that like the representation of Hawaii and Hawaiian culture in the first one is, you know, it's not like a focus, but it's good. It's positive. And I think that the things that they did to sort of like, I don't know, improve on that plot really kind of fuck it up. I don't like the inclusion of the neighbor character. I don't think that makes any sense at all. I think it's like incredibly bizarre. It makes it incredibly bizarre at the end for the neighbor to come up and say, well, why don't I just babysit Lilo sometimes? Like, couldn't get involved before CPS got there, you know? Like, are you family or not? It just kind of like throws a wrench into the implication of Lilo and Nani being kind of like, you know, it's like the effects of colonialism on Hawaii in the original, like that's where it lives, that they don't have any support system. That's kind of the point of the whole movie, you know? And like part of what irritates me about the new one is that they don't really seem to know what Nani's character arc is in that regard. Like, does she need to ask for help? Is that the lesson she's learning? Or does she need to like follow her dreams, or what is she doing, you know? And it's dumb. I don't like it. So that's my thought.
This is a pretty rough analogy, but when I was younger, I pronounced lychee, right? And then someone said to me, why are you pronouncing like that? It's pronounced lychee. So then I started saying lychee, and then someone else said it's actually lychee. So
it's pronounced cutter, actually.
But like, I say that because what Disney tends to do with the live action remakes is like overcorrect on not necessarily even criticisms that they get, but sometimes just like observations. Like, I think talking about how Nani in the original is kind of forced into this parent role at a young age is not necessarily a criticism. It's just like, oh yeah, so that's her emotional state. But they saw that and they were like, oh my God, we parentified her, even though, you know, their parents are dead. And like, it's kind of the whole point of the story. So they overcorrect with this version and they're like, well, now we're not going to do that. And we're going to let the state come in and take care of things. And it's lychee and lychee all over again.
Yeah. It
That's
seems
really
to
good
me
point.
like I wouldn't be super surprised if you know, they, you know, during the script writing process got some studio notes that were like, wouldn't it be nice though to include, you know, some nod to you know, to the Hawaiian concept of Hanai families and like found families and the whole, you know, and like Ohana as an idea and a philosophy, and that like the Hawaiian people really do support each other. And it's like, yeah, that I'm sure that like these are traditions that have been upheld, absolutely, but like the kind of the entire point of Lilo and Stitch is that is sort of missing from them and their experience of the world. You know, I think it really undercuts things to have that community support in the story that they're trying to tell. It just doesn't really make any sense, you know? Big problem for me. Also this whole... Yeah, go ahead.
No, you had another point.
I was going to change the subject. You go ahead.
Okay. One of the things, just to make you happy, because you're being so annoying about me liking this movie. One of the things I really didn't like is how explained Cobra was. Yeah. Mr. Bubbles. I think like part of what makes him such a fun character in the first movie is that he is obviously not a CPS
He's
guy.
Obviously a CIA CIA agent.
Of course he's CIA, or at least of course he's ex-CIA, because I think he is CPS.
Right. Uh-huh.
But he's
a previous life,
you know,
he
it's
said, or something.
And that's a classic comedy thing, right? That's like in the live action, they just made him a man in black, and then they made him like go undercover as the head of CPS, and it's like it doesn't work. It doesn't work at all.
It makes the other CPS character completely redundant. I really don't like the know, splitting Cobra Bubbles into these two different characters that are like, it doesn't. Why bother? Like, I mean, like you said, like the entire sort of comedic thrust of Cobra Bubbles is that he's very clearly not, you know, mismatched for this CPS role. And I have to think that like they just, you know, added this other CPS character. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure there were a few reasons, but one of them was certainly so that we can hire the voice actor for Nani again. Yeah. And won't that be nice? It's just like this appeal to, you know, nostalgia that only the parents are going to have. It's like the kids aren't going to care, you know? I don't like that. And it'd be so easy to like why not just introduce Cobra Bubbles the same way and put him undercover, and now he's the CPS agent, and he can be the same person, and then that like it writes itself. This other CPS person doesn't need to be there. I don't like
and there's
it.
another like there are other roles that she can have in the movie.
Yeah.
But this, like, him being a man in black also sort of, I feel like when we were talking about the original, we said, oh, he really just cares about Lilo and what's best for her. But knowing the whole time he's actually after Stitch, it kind of, it shifts things a little bit. It's just one more thing that, I don't know.
That's true.
Has
I guess
been
that's
on
the
my
case.
mind.
But I mean, it's like, it seems to me that like, it's one of those things that is sort of ruined by an adaptation to realism and an assumption of realism being the standard that we're gonna hold ourselves to, because in the original it doesn't matter like, like it's like the presence of aliens on this world like doesn't seem to bother anybody too terribly much. Like, people see this alien spaceship, and it's like they're kind of fine with it. It's that suspension of disbelief thing.
There was that line where at the end where he's like, "Don't worry, we'll keep it secret," and it's like, we can see the mothership.
Yeah, it's done.
Like, that's the
done.
entire country of state of Hawaii, country, whatever. Everyone in Hawaii has seen that. The jets are already scrambled. Pearl Harbor's on red alert. It's like, well,
yeah,
we can control the media.
Yeah, it's just there for humor. It's just there to be funny, and it seems to me that a lot of what makes Lilo and Stitch special is just sort of ruined by, assuming by taking a realistic hand toward it. Cobra Bubbles is a fundamentally absurd character. That's why he's so much fun. Yeah. He's so cool.
But that's the kind of absurdism that would work in live action. Like, you can just do that same thing and it would still work. Yeah.
I mean, you don't even need to, overwrite his character at all. Like, they could have just done the exact same thing and it still would have worked.
Yeah.
Bothers me.
That point that Yhara made about overcorrecting on things that were not
a problem.
That were just true about the story. Like, that's such an interesting point, and I think that's true about like every live action that's come out since like 2014.
Yeah.
In fairness to Disney, though, I am very similar to where, like, if someone just observes something about me, I'm like, is that a criticism that I need to change?
Yeah.
So I get it, but also it just doesn't work for the movie.
Wow, Gus, you're really honest. I can lie. I'll lie. You're wearing a blue shirt right now. I get it.
But like, by the same token, like, maybe Disney should just get over themselves, like we pay them billions and billions and billions of dollars to give us good movies, and they can't seem to manage it. So
not to derail the conversation, Bob Iger is retiring again.
Is he really?
Soon. Yeah. Oh. I'm really interested to see. I did not realize how. I think look. I think CEOs are way overpaid. He didn't need to make $57 million this year. That's too much. Mm-mm. But I didn't realize how impactful the CEO and like the C-suite are in terms of building company culture, right? Because when it was who was it when it was like Eisner, right? When Michael Eisner was leading the company, they were pumping out these great fucking movies, and even movies that like people didn't really like, but I still think are really good. Like, I really like Treasure Planet. I will continue to really like Treasure Planet. It's a good movie.
I agree.
And then you had. Did Iger take over right away? But then like Iger comes in, very finance focused, right? He came up in like ad sales. Mm-hmm. That's what he cares about. He doesn't care. He cares about storytelling, because that's how they make money, not because it's good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it's Michael Eisner who has that sort of like famous quote about like, it's our job as a company to make money. It's not our job to make, great art or whatever. But in the process of, making money, it is often the case that you make great art. And that's how we imagine our job here at Disney. And
Sure.
it seems like the approach now is just great art is never a necessity for making money. Our job is to make money, and whatever allows us to do that is itself great art,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's been really sad to see what's happened to, as a shareholder, I'm sure it's been great, but as like a fan of like the spirit of the company, it's been a huge bummer. Like I was watching, it was this movie where I had this thought, or I had this recently just because we've been like pounding through these episodes. That 90s Disney thing that we grew up on, the Disney splash of just like the 2D castle and then the line and then you're on to the movie, versus the modern movies of the whole fucking CGI, like through the whole kingdom, and it's all this and it's all that. And it's just really like, I think that's a really good example of the differences of these eras of this company, where one is so confident in the product they're about to show you. It's so sure about itself that it's like, we don't need to impress you. We are like, this is a simple design. You know what we do. You love what we do. Here you go. And this CG thing is so over the top and so big. It's like, it reeks of like corporate desperation.
Yeah, it's disgusting. It reminds me, it's very much the same energy as a lot of the like audio technology and like digital projection technology pre-rolls that like AMC has now, where it's like, stunning color and you've never heard anything like, it's nobody cares. Nobody goes to the movies for that.
This black is 2 shades darker than this other black that we've lightened on purpose to show the difference.
It's dumb. It's so transparently just for investors in a way that I find really disgusting. What else? What else about this movie?
I wonder if UCSD did product placement.
I also wonder that. I was just about to mention the college plot.
How much did UCSD pay
for real
to have their logo so prominent?
How desperate are they for enrollment? Surely not that much.
Probably not that desperate.
Yeah, it's UCSD.
Number one, the UCs are the premier public institution in the country. And I say that as a proud UCLA graduate. But also, like, UCSD is like the second prettiest UC. Actually, a lot of them are really pretty.
But I mean, this is part of my issue with this. This whole college plot line is so stupid. I hate it so much. And part of it is like LA and its surrounding area, Southern California as a whole, can be as pretty as it wants to be. It will never be prettier than Hawaii. It will never be more of a paradise than Hawaii. Like, that's true. The idea that Nani wants...
We can take Hawaiian sand and fill the beaches of Los Angeles with Hawaiian sand and Hawaiian trees. It is still not Hawaii.
It's never going to be Hawaii. It's never going to happen. The idea that Nani would prefer that UCSD is her dream school for marine biology is laughable to me. She lives in Hawaii. It's not like the University of Hawaii system is like world class or anything, but I know for a fact that their marine biology program in particular is like outstanding and world class. And so, like, this shouldn't be a difficult problem for her, even as an expense thing. Like, native Hawaiians get free tuition in the UH system. Why doesn't she just stay there?
I just went to a Reddit post, which U.S. schools for marine biology. It's 3 schools in California, and then University of Hawaii. All his top choices. So, yeah, it is definitely like, I just wonder, like, they were so obsessed with like building out Nani's personality as like a surfer, as though that's not just like a normal activity. Am I being
no, I think that
right
no, I don't think
that's like, no, it's normal for Hawaiians to surf, right? Like that's an expected activity, the way like
it's also
basketball is expected for New Yorkers.
It's also like a little odd, I think, to have her. She seems very underwritten to me, especially for how much it seems like they tried to do more with her, develop her character or whatever, because it's like, so she was valedictorian and got, accepted to UCSD, which she had to reject, but she also was like this world-class surfer, and that's also her personality. And I think you got to pick one or the other, Yeah. And either way,
real people can't be. They can't like two
that's
things.
That's not what I'm saying, and you know it.
At more than one thing.
I have a big problem with this story setting up, the issue within Lilo and Nani's family as a problem of not reaching, Nani not reaching her potential in the formal market economy. I think that's like, I don't like that, that bothers me.
It's super weird because the original story is like, it's about family. It's about like immediate family, Ohana, the other stuff. So like the resolution is about family and coming together, and then this movie's like, we're about family, so the resolution is this character goes off to train to enter the workforce in 6 years.
Yeah, and isn't that great?
Yeah,
I hate that.
It's a little weird.
Gosh, I was going to say something about Nani. Oh yeah, the way she's simultaneously overwritten and underwritten reminds me a little bit of, they did this television adaptation of Kindred, the Octavia Butler novel, a few years back, and the way they rewrote the main character, who was perfectly fine in the widely acclaimed novel, they made her a little bit dumber and more passive, and it made more work for them plot-wise to figure out her place in the story. I don't think Nani is as egregious as that, but it did remind me of that same thing of like, we need to fix this character who wasn't broken. So they do way too much, and at the same time not enough.
Yeah, we were talking earlier before, since Gus was late.
Gus was on time. Gus was on. Oh no, I was late. I was late, and I wasted the first 20 minutes doing research.
So before you hopped on, we were talking about how this movie isn't really very long. It's like a pretty tidy, just over 90 minutes, but it feels like it lasts forever. Like the original movie is pretty short, and
87 minutes.
That's so short. And this one is not significantly longer, but they're packing it with so much, useless information in these like plot cul-de-sacs and character cul-de-sacs that it feels like the pacing is off, why do this?
That's a really good point. I remember, oh gosh, I completely forgot about this. So guys, one of the things that I said to Mariana before we started was that I could not remember anything about the live action movie, because I watched it on Sunday in preparation to record on Monday, and we get to today, and no, you're good. But we get to today, and I'm like, what was that movie? Like, I know what it was about, because I know what Lilo and Stitch was about, but I can't remember what happened. But one thing that I made a note of, and I completely forgot about this until what you just said, was that the moment where Nani is at work or looking for a new job, and Lilo is trying to teach Stitch how to be a better person, she's like, this is your badness level. In the original cartoon, that's like 20 some minutes in, something like that, a little bit over 20 minutes. And the remake, that doesn't happen until like 58 minutes into the movie. So I feel like that's part of what contributes to the pacing feeling a little bit weird, especially if you go into it being intimately familiar with the original, you're just like, oh, this is a little bit out of sorts.
Yeah.
And like I
Yeah.
feel like you don't need to be, you don't have to have any familiarity with Lilo and Stitch as a property at all to understand what Stitch is about. He likes to destroy stuff, and like there's so many scenes of Stitch wrecking things, and it seems pretty clear that that's just in there for the fuck of it, because they don't want to, like, I don't know, they don't want to hew too closely to the plot of the original. They don't want to like recreate it scene by scene or shot by shot, or like they want to show off how good their animation is for Stitch. I don't know why, but like we don't need to see Stitch just continually always destroying things in order to understand what he's about.
I don't like that they dropped Mr. Manta Ray from the live action.
No, me neither. Oh yeah, that was something else that we were talking about before you showed up. that making Jumba the main antagonist instead of
was a choice.
It is a choice, and I don't think I love it. I think it's that like Jumba himself is going through his own sort of character arc here of like, oh, look at this thing I made. Maybe it was a bad decision. Maybe I should be more, introspective about the consequences of making a thing that, doesn't have a history and doesn't have the capacity for, emotional connection. What it's like Jumba is to some extent a little bit of, I don't know. He's like being kind of a Greek chorus about it. He's like describing Stitch's emotional arc, and I think that's pretty nice to have. Because it's not like completely apparent what Stitch is going through, just because animation can only do so much, and he doesn't speak. So like to have Jumba there explaining to you, especially to children, what's going on, I think is useful and nice. And you can't have that here because he needs to be the bad guy in the end. I don't love it. I remember what I was going to say. It's that I don't like Stitch's character design in this movie. I don't think it works. I think the kind of stylization that the original one is made in and all the shapes that it favors, like there's a kind of exaggeration to everybody's features that the movie is asking you to have like maintain some level of suspension of disbelief about. And so I think that just like copy pasting Stitch's design doesn't work. I don't think that it's as legible, he doesn't read to me as an alien. He reads to me as a copy of the cartoon, and there's except for the other aliens, there's no other character in this movie that has the same quality at all. And how could they, because this is live action? Like there's this sort of aesthetic mismatch that is carried throughout that I think really doesn't work. But
the design I didn't love. I agree with the mismatch, especially once he's interacting with people. But I thought the animators did a really good job. That was one of the reasons I liked it, is because like they kept his goofiness and his silliness and his chaoticness from the and they translated it really well into the real world stuff.
The interactions between Stitch and everybody else, I think, work fine. This is we've talked in previous episodes about how awful it is that like we're putting people in just like full green screen rooms where they can't see what they're interacting with, and there were actual sets here, which is nice. They were doing puppet animation where there was like something in the room to react to and to touch and to pick up, especially for the girl who plays Lilo. Really important. I'm glad they realized that. Great. But like to me though, that's like bare minimum shit. That's like for any movie that's made for $100 million and makes $1 billion back. Like that is bare minimum type stuff for me.
I had something that I wrote down about Jamba being the main antagonist, and I completely forgot about it until something we were talking about. So I'm just going to read off what I wrote. And I guess this is just one of the notes that I put down when I watched the remake. Jamba being the main antagonist and not having a redemption arc is depressing. Familial rejection. It's familial rejection in a sense without redemption or closure. The person who created Stitch doesn't get to grow and see Stitch as deserving of life and deserving of choice. Might be a little more realistic to life, sure, but in a movie about space aliens befriending human children, how important of a metric is realism? And I thought of that because you kept talking about why do we need to go by realism in this adaptation, and that's the same reason I think Gantu was removed, is that they said it just didn't look right. Size-wise to have them with the humans.
Make him smaller.
Yes, make him sit.
I did it. I fixed the problem.
Just make him average size.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's a good way of looking at what doesn't work here, is that maybe there's too much worry about realism.
Yeah, well, and like, I mean, you made me think just then. You just reminded me of like Nani's like kind of a weird positive realist in this movie, and too, in a way that I think is like pretty grim. And like, it seems like I don't even know if they had this in mind. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't. But I think that the sort of like passive result is that like Nani and Jumba are the ones that are sort of paralleling each other, and like the threat is perhaps that Nani is going to become like a Jumba type parent figure. I don't like the scene where Nani like sits Lilo down and lectures her about how Ohana is like a dumb, stupid fantasy and you shouldn't believe in it. You need to like, you know, grow up and be in real life. Or then like original Nani would never say that, you know. I don't think that's good. And then it doesn't go anywhere, which is the really unforgivable thing. Like, it's not like Nani over the course of this movie comes to regain her appreciation for Ohana, you know? Like, it's like nothing she does seems like it's purposefully developing her character in that direction. So yeah, yeah.
I liked it.
Why did you
Anything
like
else?
it?
I thought it was cute. Like, you know what it is, I think, part of it? I think the original movie was made in that way for, like, kids and adults. Mm-hmm. Like, I loved it as a kid. I love it now. Mm-hmm. This live action is a kids movie.
Yes.
You know, it's not made for... there's not a lot of things, I think, for adults to enjoy in there.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, listen, I will never begrudge a child their joy. Okay. Like, kids can like whatever they want to like.
Yeah.
But
except for the Minecraft. How dare they?
But original
Yhara rolled her eyes so
No, it was okay. So yes, but also because when you said the Minecraft movie, I immediately, for some reason, had flashbacks to the Emoji movie.
God.
And a little part of me
Mike
died
White's
inside.
the Emoji movie. White Lotus creator Mike White's opus.
And
the Emoji
every
movie.
time I remember that movie, I swear it's just like everything inside me just shuts down and shrivels. So sorry, that was kind of an extreme response.
It was perfect. But like, okay, so kids can like whatever they like. That's great. Good for them.
Yeah.
But like the original Lilo and Stitch is not just a good kids movie. It's like a good movie.
Yes.
Period. You know, it's like one of the best movies. And I really, really love kids movies. I think there's like so much room for sincerity and you know, just sort of appreciation for aesthetic beauty makes it into kids movies in a way that I think is often just completely absent from you know, more you know, I was going to say adult entertainment, but like there's no way to say like media for adults that doesn't sound like porn, you know?
Yeah.
But you know what I mean?
Non-porn entertainment.
Yeah, like there's
Non-porn adult.
yes, thank you. Like there's a cynicism to a lot of movies made for adults that I think kids movies are just so blessedly absent of. And so it like bums me out to see, especially like for millennials who grew up in sort of a golden age of kids entertainment to grow up and see the stuff that kids have now is just so much thinner and so, derivative and just not as good and not
Bluey's
as like
pretty decent.
Huh?
Bluey's pretty
Bluey's
decent.
amazing. I love Bluey. But like also, I mean, Bluey's a whole part of a whole other conversation about kids entertainment, about the United States just sort of leaving kids entertainment for other countries to fulfill. Bluey's Australian, we don't care about soft power anymore. It's fine. We don't need to.
Why do we need to care about soft power? We're gonna have Greenland in a couple.
Thank
months.
God.
Oh, I don't think there's anything more I have to say about, other than, again, Maya's great.
She's so
Maya's
cute.
the one who plays Lilo. She's fantastic. And I love her. She's
Yeah, she is. She
like, as many problems as they may have with the movie, none of them have anything to do
no,
with
not
her.
at all. She's so cute,
good.
and she's so wild, and like the ways
Yeah.
that she performs that is so lovely. When she lets all the chickens out, says, "Live your lives." It's so cute. This movie made $1 billion. It did get pretty mixed reviews from critics. It's got a 72% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is fine, I guess.
High.
Yeah, it's a little high, but it's got a 91 audience score, which means, oh no, we have to have more live action remakes. David Sims is one of the critics for The Atlantic, and he kind of diagnosed this movie with the problem that I see on the horizon, which is, what we've been talking about, for several episodes, are like ecological metaphor for the state of art, that like you cannot just keep extracting from properties you already have without giving something back to it. Eventually you are going to run out. This is the first movie after the year 2000 that Disney has remade. They're running out of properties to remake. So David Sims said,
Moana, Frozen, Tangled,
and then what? That's it.
Princess and the Frog. Song of the South, but it'll be called Song of the West, and it'll be totally different.
So David Sims says the two features are, if a little he was talking about How to Train Your Dragon also in the same review. The two features are, if a little lacking in visual stimulation compared with their forebears, reliably entertaining, but taken together they signal something rather alarming in Hollywood's ongoing crisis of imagination. The timeline for nostalgia is growing shorter. That is a huge problem. They're gonna run out eventually. And then what kind of like, big ticket box office draw are they gonna have? What's Disney gonna do after they run out of things to remake? It's a like genuine, sort of crisis for the company on the horizon, I feel.
Maybe it just means we have more wishes down the line. Just
Oh,
like Wish
no.
2, Wish 3.
Yhara, did you see Wish?
I did. And I was actually thinking, as we were talking about Lilo and Stitch, the remake, I thought, as many problems as I have with it, I think if I had to choose one of them to watch again, I'd probably watch that one again, because Wish was just so dry.
Yeah.
Very few redeeming qualities.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It feels unfinished. It's really bad.
it's something that I've been trying to forget, but I still remember it. And I still remember how I felt as I was watching it too.
Maybe they'll remake Wish. They probably should.
That's a good idea, actually.
It
That's
is.
a live action remake I would approve of.
I know.
There's things that you actually can fix here.
Yeah, we talked in the Pete's Dragon episode about like, isn't it weird that they keep remaking movies that are already good? Like, if you're gonna remake movies, you should probably remake the bad ones, right? Like, that's what would make the most sense. And then Wenlei Ma from an Australian outlet called the Nightly used my favorite modern critic line. For the most part, this remake is a charming film. Was it necessary? No, but how many movies are? However, you can't be offended it exists, and it has plenty of emotional moments and raucous shenanigans. Enough with this, like, well, it's a movie, so you gotta hang it on the refrigerator and pat them on the back. Like, I hate that shit so much.
I just imagine like you're in Rome, you're surrounded by all this ancient, beautiful architecture, these fountains, these paved streets. You walk into the Vatican, you go into the Sistine Chapel, you look up, you see this like painstaking, like painted, gorgeous, preserved ceiling with all this detail. And you go, did it have to be painted? What building needs to be painted? It's a painting. It's fine.
Like, truly, it's like
That's what I think of. Like, have you, like, I think people who have this idea haven't lived in a place that, like, devalues art as much as it is. So there's still, like, if you're in New York, you're fine because you have this, like, interesting architecture all around the city. And yes, they're putting up more and more boring-ass glass skyscrapers every day. But it's fine because you're in Soho and you see all this, like, pretty brick and these nice buildings.
you're in a position to take
Chicago,
art
it's
for
fine.
granted.
If you've ever been to Phoenix, Arizona,
A horrible place. Don't do it.
the worst major metropolitan area in the northern United States.
It's a series of
In the
parking
northern
lots attached
America.
with an interstate system.
The deprivation of any kind of, like, attempt at beauty has made it so unbearable that the sun itself is trying to burn that city down.
This idea that like that's the kind of thing that you can only say if you truly believe that art is superfluous to human life. Like,
Yeah.
no, I'm like, sorry, but I think that art is necessary, and I think that, like, one of the sort of defining qualities of good art is that it feels necessary. I don't
Yes.
think that, like, the phrase, like, was this necessary, should only be applied to pieces of art that are bad and that have to justify themselves. I think that, like, lowering the standard so that every piece of art has to justify itself sucks. I think that's a bad way to think about this.
My ninth grade English teacher used to say, whenever we'd be like, do we have to do this homework? Do we have to do this? Whatever. He would always say, the only thing you have to do is die. There's only one thing that's necessary in life, and that's dying.
I'm going to tell my child that all the time. What a great
Everything
line.
else
Great
is
thing to say.
optional. Everything else is optional. You know? But it's like, what improves your life? What makes your
Yeah.
life better? For me, it's seeing good movies that make me think and make me laugh, and looking at nice buildings and trees, and having a wonderful girlfriend and spending time with her and talking with friends about shitty movies.
These are not frivolities, you know? They are necessary.
Yeah.
Gus, I'm less disappointed in you now. I guess we can still be friends. It seems like you didn't like this movie as much as I thought you did. As much as
No,
you
I
said
liked
you
it.
did,
Like
so.
is a low bar. Like, I
But
like
also,
McDonald's. It's
I
not
think it's
good.
important to keep in mind that one of the things that you said when you started talking about the remake was they start the year off with Snow White. So Lilo and Stitch, they could only go up, you know?
Truly.
And I think maybe if I actually sit down and watch the live action Snow White remake, because I haven't seen it yet.
You shouldn't.
And then
Don't.
I watch Lilo and Stitch, I'm going to feel the same way that
maybe,
you do.
yeah.
I'm going to be like, this is pretty good.
Our Snow White trauma has been sort of a running theme of this podcast. This was the first episode
If we
did.
ever
you
do
know?
merch, I want a hat or a shirt that says Snow White.
Yeah, it's one of the worst movies. Yhara, you have to see it and tell me what you think. I so badly want to hear your opinions about the new Snow White because it's like genuinely one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my
I've
life.
really been avoiding it.
It's so bad.
Maybe I think when I feel really bad about myself one day, instead of resorting to another form of, like, self-abuse,
Yeah.
I'll just watch that. Instead of not leaving my bed all day, I'll just exercise normally and just watch Snow White and then be like, you know what? I shouldn't hate myself that bad.
Yeah.
I should treat myself better.
You might do wrong, but at least you didn't make Snow White.
People got paid for that movie. A lot of money too.
Actually, it could be really inspiring now that you say it like that.
Uh-huh.
And then I feel bad about something I wrote, I'll be like, let me just watch Snow White.
Yeah,
Ah, that feels
nothing is
better.
as bad as that. Nothing at all.
It's pretty terrible.
So other than the new Snow White, if you're really a glutton for punishment, what should people watch? Gus, you want to go first?
What should people watch?
Yeah.
Besides Snow White? Did I already recommend a weird Romanian movie? I know I did on the Discord. Did I do it when we recorded
I don't think
last
so.
time?
I don't think so.
I watched a really weird Romanian movie called Don't Expect Too Much from the End of the World.
Mm-hmm. I've heard of it.
It's amazing. It was one of my favorite things that I watched last year. It is so boring in such an incredible way. It's one of those movies. It's one of those movies that, like, for the first 20 minutes, I went to go see a clown show in Brooklyn. Only when I went, I didn't realize it was a clown show. And so the guy on stage was super loud, super annoying, all these sound effects. I didn't understand what was going on. The crowd was loving it. And I was like, what the fuck is happening? And 15, 20 minutes in, it clicked. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I loved the whole thing. This movie reminded me of that a lot. Because for the first 20 minutes, I'm like, I don't understand this. And then it goes from boring to enthralling. And it has the best third act I've ever seen. Gus, if you watch this movie... Yeah?
Can I tell you
What's the
something?
question? Yeah.
I think you did recommend this last time.
Great. I'm recommending it again. It's really good. If you
remember this story. But no, do it again. That's fine.
If you watch this movie, put your phone in a different room because you will be tempted to go on it. Don't go on your phone. Just experience it. It's art, and it's weird, and it doesn't make a lot of sense, and it's confusing, but there's a point, and it's fascinating, and it's really fucking good, and it makes me want to make more things, and that's good. So it's called Don't Expect Too Much from the End of the World. It's amazing.
You have
excellent.
just convinced me to give it another shot because I
Did
tried
you
to
try
watch
it?
it. I got 10 minutes in.
You
You said
gotta
the first
get-
20 minutes
you
are
gotta
rough.
go 20
So I got to get
minutes.
past that. Okay.
You have to and that's because there's a moment, because I don't know if this is an American thing or a human thing, but there's a desire to understand art, right? It's you want to look at it and you want to be like, well, I know what's
you wanna
happening.
solve it.
Oh, what's her motivation? Why is she doing this? I get it. And I think this might be another culture thing, or it might be an older thing, or whatever. But sometimes you don't have to understand art; you just have to experience art. And I think this is a movie that is really worth experiencing.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll give it another shot.
Yeah.
I believe you.
Yeah,
That was convincing.
thank you.
My hope is that that's sort of the going to be the sort of aesthetic trend in filmmaking, in the filmmaking era we're entering, that people have to stop trying to solve the movie and simply experience it, and understand that this is supposed to be an aesthetic event that is by its nature kind of difficult to describe, and the thing that is happening is emotional. It's not directly commentary. And even if it is direct commentary, that the emotional ambivalences and aesthetic qualities of that are really, really important to what
It is.
yeah
Yeah, it's often a good thing to still have questions when a movie's over.
yes
It's okay. It is often encouraged even to think for a while about a movie that you've seen,
That
and
should
not just
be the
immediately
case.
and not just immediately have a fucking ad pop up and be like, "Do you want to watch? You just watched. Don't Expect Too Much about the End of the World. Do you want to watch Wolves with George Clooney and Brad Pitt?" I think it wasn't on Apple. That was just the movie that popped into my head. But
Oh, it was an excellent choice,
Thank
too,
you.
because it's a kind of a movie that came and went that I forgot about, so it's perfect for the analogy. I felt the same way about The Secret Agent when I saw it. I was
the
kind
Brazilian
of...
one.
Yeah, I still have a lot of questions after, but I enjoyed the journey, and it wasn't what I expected, but in a good way. It was just lots of emotions. That's all.
What about you, Yhara? What should people watch besides, or in addition to live action Lilo and Stitch?
And we're talking about good things, right?
This
'Cause
is-
I could recommend something
Oh, you-
bad.
no, you
This
can-
is
but-
a recommendation.
you can recommend bad things, absolutely. I am a
as-
huge fan of hate watching. I love watching bad movies. It's so much
as
fun.
long as you think people will enjoy
Yeah.
it, whether enjoy it out of anger or enjoy it out of appreciation.
All right. All right. Is it okay to have two?
Yes.
No.
Okay, so for
odd numbers only. Two's fine.
for something, I think a little bit worse, for a bad time that's really, really funny, The Suckling, a horror movie from, I think, I want to say 1983, but I could be wrong. Let's just say 80s, about an aborted fetus coming to kill its mother. Very low budget, very rough, but hilarious. I definitely recommend watching it with friends. It's a really good movie to put on if you're having a bad day and you can just laugh out your troubles.
1990.
1990. I was way off. 1990. And then for a good one, Thesis. That came out in 1996. That's a really good thriller. And I won't say anything more than that.
It's
Thesis.
Spanish.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I'm going to recommend The Bone Temple. I saw it a few days ago. It's so
Hell
good.
yeah.
What's
Oh
the
my God,
Bone
it's so
Temple?
good.
Oh, do you mean 28 years later? Bone
The
Temple?
Bone Temple, yes. Gus, I don't think you can watch this movie. I think
There's a
it'll
lot
upset
of
you.
movies I can't watch. It's a bummer. I really like Ralph Fiennes when he's being fucking weird.
He's amazing. Oh, this is
Wait,
yeah,
do you not like gore?
I'm not a horror person, which is part of our advertising campaign for season 2 of the podcast. Is like, come watch Gus be fucking miserable
Watch Gus have a bad time.
every other week for like 30 weeks.
Yeah,
I don't
the Bone Temple is it's yes indeed the sequel to 28 Years Later. It's so strange, it's so beautiful, it's so hard to watch. It's like it's thematically really interesting. It's absurd. It's very much a part of what I think this current era of filmmaking is going for, which is like, yes, film is an experience. It should be an experience. Like aesthetics are important, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. I'd like to co-sign that. I think more people should be entering the Bone Zone.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yhara, thank you for doing this. Thank you for
so
being
much,
here.
Yhara.
Thank you for having
This is so
me.
much fun.
I don't want this to sound bad. I'm saying this out of social anxiety.
Yeah,
Okay?
go for it.
This was more fun than I thought it would be.
Hell
okay?
yeah. We
But that's just
take
because I'm a very-
those.
Anxious person, but it was nice and it was very easy.
Better
Listen,
than the
all-
bare
How's it going?
minimum.
all three of us have copious social anxiety. Every single time we do this, it's more fun than I expect it to be.
Yeah,
including
yeah.
this
And you know what?
time,
I was
so-
a little bit every time. Like I'm like right before a podcast. I'm just like, oh man, I'm going to be the worst guest ever. Let me Google and see worst podcast guests so I can watch something and cringe and feel better about myself.
Just-
I was doing that before we got on the call.
Just don't say the N-word. You'll be fine.
Yeah, it'd actually be fine if I said it. That's the irony. So I need to come up with something else.
People can't hear that you're black, Yhara.
Oh, okay. Damn it. Why'd you say it? I could have kept it a secret and then I could have incurred some
She's
controversy.
a YouTuber. They know.
Yeah, but not on this medium. We're not recording
Right.
video yet.
Exactly. All right, next time. We just cut that part out.
Next time you're on the guest, just every sentence.
Yeah.
Oh,
Make
It's
us
a
go
good
viral.
plan. We've got it. But yeah,
All
thank you
right.
guys for having me. This is really fun.
of
I
course.
appreciate it.
Where can people find more of your stuff?
On YouTube, the name is Yhara Zayd. I don't know when I'll upload again, but you'll find me there. And yeah, I really don't exist elsewhere.
Great.
At my local AMC, you can find me every Friday night.
Where can
Okay.
people find us, guys?
Where can people find us? Oh, we have a whole outro I forgot to do. Thanks
When
so
Gus
much.
remembers our outro, that's when we know we'll know we've made it.
When I remember
Gus
the
can just-
outro, the world will end in 2 days. Thanks so much for listening to Once More with Feelings 16th episode.
And last episode of the season.
Last
except for maybe
episode
one
of the
more
season,
episode that we're
except
gonna
for
do
the
to wrap it up.
special episode we'll do this
Yeah.
summer when Moana live action
Oh
comes out.
yeah, also that.
That'll be a special episode 16. You can
It looks like
find
dog
us.
shit. I'm so excited.
We have several links in the notes above. You can find us on various social medias. I posted one single joke on Blue Sky that was pretty funny, and I'm going to try to do that more. You can follow us. You can listen more on other podcast things. I have an outro. I don't remember what it is.
Jesus Christ. Don't you have like a whole outro document?
Yeah.
In the...
Hold on.
God.
Let me find it. Normally, I don't need the help.
Yes, you do.
Normally, I can stumble through it. We will not have another animated Disney one for you in 2 weeks. But we are going to do a little mini season between these animated movies and the horror movies. We're going to take a look at, I think there's only 3 or 4, but the live action Disney remakes, movies like Parent Trap, like Dr. Dolittle,
Of live action.
like
Disney
Herbie,
movies.
if we can find them. That'll be really fun. We might get Emmy Award winning actor Richard Schiff to join one of those episodes. Maybe the
That'd
one
be so
that
much
he's
fun.
in, Dr. Dolittle. Because he's my dad. If you want to support us, if you liked what you listened to, you can like and subscribe, click buttons, do comments, various engagement things. If you want to pay us and get a couple extra episodes, things that aren't exactly remakes or sequels to live action remakes, you can.
You did Sleeping Beauty and Maleficent. That
Yeah,
was fun.
you'll hear
the
Mufasa in a couple.
Yeah.
Or you will
Mufasa,
have been able
Cruella.
to hear Mufasa. Yeah. You can get that on Patreon, where you can also join our Discord, have a lot of fun chats, be one of the people that I read out in the middle of our episodes. All of our various social medias, if you don't want to click, at With Feeling Pod. Do you have questions, comments, concerns? Why not just compliment us directly? You can email us at withfeelingpod@gmail.com. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you in season 1.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Outro
music.
Too often stripped of love, just